Hey guys, welcome back. Stop Talk and Roll, episode 253. Today we have Dan in the black rash guard and Hudson in the also black rash guard, but that's okay. If I remember correctly, this was an absolute banger of a round, so this should be fun. Dan coming in with, some shin to shin, messing with Hudson's base. Hudson doing a good job just kind of clearing those hooks, not letting Dan establish anything too much. Dan, when you do this, try to don't like lean back so much, like with your upper body. You know what I mean? Like you wanna sit forward, because when you lay back like that, your legs are getting away from you. I'm trying to think. Like if you sit forward, you can then extend your feet that much further, right? Like, so the distance that your legs can be away from your head right here, or it's gonna be there to there. It is what it is. But if you can bring your head, if your head is now here, right, and your back is here, you could then shift your hips that much farther forward to catch his legs possibly all the way out here. You see what I'm saying? Like you have more distance you can cover, whereas here you're limited to, like, you can scoot your hips, but it's not as easy. It's going to be easier if your head's forward and then you bring your hips forward. You can kind of use that like an explosive motion forward, if that makes sense. Whereas here you're going to have to like put your hands on the floor and push away, which is just going to be an awkward kind of movement there. Yeah, like right here. And you see he goes down, funny enough. But if you needed it to cover distance, right, it would be easier to shift your feet forward from here. But Hudson goes down, which is great, and you pop up 2 points. I should score points. Ooh. I got to do that live, though. I can't be. It's going to take too much time. Okay. I got ideas. Nice pass. I'm talking. I should be breaking this down, because that's why you guys are here, not to hear me think. Maybe you do. I don't know. Knee slice. Through. Love it. Nice. Checking that knee. I like that. Kind of a reverse side control position here. Nice. Very cool. So I know I preach a lot about how I don't like that mount take. However, there is a time and place for it, and this is the time and the place. When someone bumps into you like this, and as they're coming back down, it's going to be very hard, especially with this hand on his thigh right here. It's going to be very hard for him to close this space up. Okay, so when you do that, I don't mind a big overstep. Like notice Dan's. This is great. Notice how Dan, his foot is landing up here. It's nowhere in the line of fire or even in danger of getting his guard, of Hudson putting a guard back in, right? Like his foot, his hand is still connected, right? So right here, his hand is still connected to his knee as his foot is passing over no man's land, where Hudson would just shoot his legs up and grab guard. But because Dan's addressing that, and it's doing two things, right? It's keeping his knee down, and it's also keeping his knee from retracting to eliminate that space. This is a good choice. Also, so that's part one, right? So the hand positioning, keeping his leg down so Hudson can't jump up and get the guard. Part two, right? The second point here is, notice that Dan's foot lands way above Hudson's hip line. Hudson's hip line's here. Dan's foot's way up here. It's like impossible unless Hudson were able to jettison himself backwards here. And wow, I was really fast. Wow, that's like under a second. Okay, so I'm gonna slow motion this. Yeah, like Hudson. Look at that. Hudson is not reacting. No one is reacting quick enough. That foot is here. I wish I knew what the next frame is. Is it 60 frames per second? So we're looking at what, like 1.6 milliseconds or something. I don't know if this is how it works. I'm assuming, or something like that, right? I don't know if my math's off, but yeah, you're not stopping that. And then his heel comes in again, right at that hip line. This is great stuff. That's good. I like it. That could have been sketchy for half a second, Dan. You had both arms look like kind of trapped. Like if Hudson were to explode this way, I don't know. He definitely would have created a problem. At the very least, he could have gotten his guard back there. But no harm, no foul. Nice tight mount. You are putting a crossface in, but Hudson is managing to turn his head this way. So kind of an interesting situation here. Hudson's bearing his hands in to create some space on the hips to get out. It looks like that's going to be working for him. Let's see. This is a lot of good pressure here. I would look to start advancing up because Hudson looks like he is really threatening an escape with these hands here. Yeah, okay, good. Now I'm a little less nervous because the higher his hands come up, the harder it's going to be for him to generate any power to kind of rock you side to side. Here's something that you could do here is mess with his head. I'd be very careful with your head up right now because if Hudson goes to bump, you're going to go flying. Although Hudson is not bumping. Let's see. Because your hips are connected to his body, Hudson, I would recommend bumping right here. So just put your feet on the floor. Yep, and then if you just bump right now, he should go like face plant. He's going to have to take his hands off. Yeah. Turnover. Okay, now you have a back exposure. Nice job, Dan, staying under the elbow. That was perfect. We kind of went over this yesterday, funny enough. Maybe it's something we need to work on because that was 2 months ago. And right for the choke. Good. And what I was talking about is trapping that arm, but this is good. Hudson with the back bending escape. Ooh. He catches the feet. Dan smartly bellies down. That should relieve some pressure. Yeah, I knew this was a good one. Right back under. Notice Dan's nice, Dan. Dan's going for double underhooks right now, so Hudson can't bump him off. Bug in the neck. Oh, no, Dan. He got greedy. Okay, Hudson's turn. Payback time. Let's see what Hudson can put together. Actually, let's just back it up. So you want double unders so this doesn't happen. And you lost your double under. If anything, if you want to get him over, don't do this because, you know, Hudson's a strong guy. He's got good base. Put this arm that's below his face right now, or in front of his face. Oh, am I in the way? Oh, damn it! You guys gotta tell me. You gotta put the hand right across the back of his head like so. Like probably just like right above the ear, and do a quarter Nelson, power half Nelson. I don't even know. What makes it like I get a full Nelson, which is under both arms, and you put his head down. But what makes it a half Nelson versus a power half versus a quarter half? Is a quarter half just like one hand? Like what is? Could somebody explain that to me? I'd appreciate that. But either way, some version of a Nelson, you'd have better success taking him over and keeping his back. But nonetheless, Hudson's turn for some payback. Let's see. Ooh, dives right for a guillotine. That was cool. Hudson, you should keep working that. This is something. Okay, guys. Butterfly guard is susceptible to this. So if you notice, I don't do it so much, but I used to play with a hand up here when I play butterfly guard, right? And it's ready to like deal with flying guillotines. I don't do it as much because people don't try to hit me with it, but you got to be able to fly back right away. And this happens when you get kind of collapsed on. So this is good, Hudson. I like this. What you want to do is don't worry about getting the choke sunk in immediately. What you want to do is you want to make sure you can get your shoulder past the back of their head and like clamp down on it. And you can work the guillotine after the fact, okay? But the positioning and getting their head just lodged into your armpit is going to do wonders for controlling the position. You don't have to go like for broke right away and get the choke fully sunk in right off the bat. Like, you have time for that if you can get around and get their head stuck. Kind of think of it as a position first before the submission. But it's a really good move. Okay, so we have a failed sweep and a single leg X into a sweep. Nice job, Dan. Hudson coming up. Dan electing to go back down. If that's a competition, just so you guys know, that is a sweep. Interesting little shin to shin. I like that. Grabbed his own foot. Guillotine again. Let's see what happens this time. Ooh, and into a darce. Nice job. If you guys get stuck right here, one thing you can do, yeah, like, I don't know if that's super tight. Let's see what happens. One thing you could do, Hudson, right here, where is it? Let's back up just a little bit. Yeah, like right here, you can take your hands. So you have one arm in on the darce and the other one's trying to come over, right? Oops, sorry. If you can't get it through like fully, you can bring your hands together around the back of his head and use it again as kind of like a Nelson here, and use the blade of your forearm on the side of his head and kind of just drive him down, or you can look to flatten him out with it as well. So you kind of have options there. I'll try to get myself doing a darce sometime soon. When I'm doing a darce, my main objective before I even look for the finish is to get my body on the other side of this arm. If this arm is free, Dan's going to escape. So I'll usually stay really tight, really low over here in this area, and I'll work my hip over and over and over and over again until I trap that arm on this side of the body, and then go for the finish. You could knee slice out there. I wouldn't let go of the darce though. Darce, you could just play with a darce in now, and he's got to deal with that. I mean, to the point, like, you can finish, but if that arm is on the outside there, it's very difficult. Okay. Did you trap the arm? Oh, and he's able to get up. So, like, here, you can use that to drive him back down. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you could do that. I don't know how tight this is right now. Yeah, I was going to say. It's a good job. Ooh, right into the attack. And that's it. Yeah. The high five. I usually get the high five. There we go. Look at that. Good round, boys. Good stuff. You guys are making me happy. Making me better at jiu-jitsu. I got to pick it up. I got to drink some water. That made me thirsty. Woo. Guys, if you haven't yet. Oh, I was just looking at my screen while I'm on the other side. Please, like and subscribe. Why is it up there now? Isn't it supposed to be below? It's supposed to be down here. All right. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.